Hey everybody, and welcome back to Art a la Carte. This is part 4 of our Choose Your Own Adventure story series that we're doing. Now, if you don't have a clue what's going on here, I will leave a link to the playlist, so I highly recommend you go start with video 1 in the series. I explain everything that's going on and how to be a part of the choosing process, and also you'll hear the full story, so it'll make a little bit more sense. So go check that out. The results for the poll last week, which had the highest number of votes that we've had as of yet, over 1,000 of you guys voted, which is so cool. Thank you guys for voting. You had 2 choices in the last vote. One was Amelia going to charge in and try to save her family, or did she follow Knox? And with 69% of the vote, you guys chose that she should follow Knox. So let's find out, where's Knox going to take us next? Why didn't I save them? Am I a coward? These thoughts kept racing through Amelia's mind as she followed Knox down the dark tunnel. It would have been an inky pitched black tunnel, except for the small rock that Knox held in his hand. It glowed a soft blue light that made the shadows dance around her, and didn't make Amelia feel much better. For a moment she had considered racing in and challenging this crow-like monster, defending her family and somehow winning the day. But when she saw her father's guards enter the throne room and saw their black feathers and bird-like faces, she knew the fate that would befall her if she tried to rush in there. I need to find out answers. If I can find out what this crow man wants, or his weakness, maybe I can find someone who will help me. Knox had told her he was taking her home. Well, his home, wherever that was. She hoped it wasn't completely underground. It was cold and wet.
"Be careful, princess. It's very slippery,"
Knox said. Amelia looked down and saw that almost an inch of water covered the ground where they were walking in, and Amelia could hear a deep thundering sound. Was there a storm outside? Were they getting close to the surface? Knox, where are we going?
"We's going back to my home. Lady Dahlia, she be able to help us."
Who's Lady Dahlia? Amelia asked. Knox just grinned and continued walking.
"You'll see."
As they rounded a corner, Amelia found the cause for the deep thundering sound. It was a waterfall, or the backside of a waterfall. Amelia tried to think of where there was a waterfall in the kingdom. The only one she could think of was in the middle of the great woods. Had they really walked that far? Knox helped her along the pathway behind the waterfall, and when she came out the other side, her shoes weren't the only thing drenched. Amelia was cold and tired as she looked around for some familiar landmark, but the tall trees of the forest blocked out any familiar sights. Only a small patch of sky above her head let Amelia know how long they had been underground. Distant stars were just beginning to twinkle in the twilight. She couldn't believe the day had already gone. Amelia's head swam with how much had changed in just a few short hours. She had gone from a girl just excited to celebrate her birthday to realizing her mother was alive, and then having her father, grandmother, and possibly the entire kingdom being turned into crow-like monsters. And now she was following a small green man to meet some person named Dahlia. Maybe if I'm lucky I'll wake up and find out this whole thing was a dream. Amelia followed Knox through the forest until it opened up into a small meadow. And there, in the center of the meadow, she saw it, the great tree. In the castle, there had been a beautiful painting of the great tree in the castle hall. In the painting, the great tree, with its tall, strong branches, was draped in a velvety green cascade of leaves, and nestled amongst the branches were all sorts of birds. When Amelia was younger, she used to look at the picture and try to count the many birds. But this great tree looked very different. It still had its strong branches spreading out, but there were no leaves. The great branches were empty and bare, except for one spot. At the very base of the tree was a small branch that had 3 leaves. Just 3. If it hadn't been for those 3 leaves, the great tree would look dead. "The great tree isn't dead. He's only sleeping," a voice called from behind Amelia. She turned around to see the most beautiful woman standing underneath the tree. Or was she part of the tree? She was tall with dark green hair that flowed up into the branches. Her long green dress made out of leaves melted into the base of a small oak tree. She was a dryad, a tree fairy. "Are you Dahlia?" Amelia questioned. Knox scurried up.
My lady, Knox found the princess, I did. I was the one who found her. She be my friend, she be now. I bring her here to you like you want.
Dahlia smiled at Knox's excitement. You did a good job, Knox. Thank you, she said in her soft voice, and then looked back at Amelia. Knox brought me here. I've come, ma'am, to ask you for help. Dahlia looked at her with a sad smile. I know, child. It has been a very hard day for you. But do not worry, you are safe now. Amelia wasn't so concerned about her safety as she was the safety of her family. Please, ma'am, I need your help. My family, perhaps my entire kingdom, we're under attack. Can you help me? The only one who can completely destroy the Crow King is the great tree. Amelia looked at the tree and then back at Dahlia. You said the tree is sleeping, so can we wake him up? She asked hopefully. Dahlia looked over at Knox and then back at Amelia. The people of the forest tried to fight the Crow King once before, and it cost us greatly. It's only thanks to your mother that we are safe here in this forest. My mother? Amelia asked. Many years ago, you were just a little tiny girl. The Crow King attacked. He knew as long as the great tree lived, he was no match. So he poisoned the great tree. Slowly, his leaves turned brown and began to fall, falling like teardrops to the ground. The great tree's power grew weaker and weaker. There was nothing we could do. The Crow King gloated that he had placed such a curse on the tree, one that could never be broken by fairy folk. And that's when I thought, if a fairy folk could not break it, perhaps a human could. Of course, your mother came quickly when she heard. She sacrificed everything to protect us. Though she could not break the curse or completely destroy the Crow King, she was able to stop them, but at a great cost. Amelia blinked. That's how she got trapped in a mirror? Yes, Dahlia said, but even her sacrifice could only last for so long. That would be the day the Crow King would break free. She knew you and her family would be in grave danger. We promised her that no matter what, we would protect you, and I intend to keep my promise to your mother. I will protect you with every power that I have. Amelia stepped forward to Dahlia. But the Crow King took my mother's mirror. He has my mother. He's turned my grandmother and father into crows. Please, Dahlia, you have to help me. There has to be a way to stop him. Dahlia's face fell. With the great tree asleep, there's no way to defeat the Crow King, and my powers are only limited to this forest. I cannot protect you outside of its boundaries. You must stay here, Amelia, where I can protect you. I'm sorry I could not do more for your family. Amelia jumped back. I can't just leave my family to be crows for the rest of their lives. I have to find a way to save them. If you can't help me, I'll find someone else who can. With that, Amelia turned and ran through the darkening woods. Hot, angry tears streamed down her face. I should have stayed at the castle. I was wrong to come here. I should have fought like Mother fought him. I have to find a way. Her mind raced to find a plan. Knox said he had friends. Maybe if he has enough of them, they can help me. Maybe one of them has an idea of how to defeat the Crow King. Amelia continued to race down the darkened path when she heard a voice call out to her. Hey, Amelia, I'll help you. Dun dun dun! Okay guys, so in the description box of this video, we'll find a link to go to this straw poll thing and decide what does Amelia do next. You have 3 options this time, and let me just say that each one of these options is going to take the story in a totally different direction. You have until this Saturday to vote. If you're brand new to my channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out. And while you're waiting, you can check out these videos here for some more art a la carte fun. Well, thank you guys for hanging out with me, and until next time, God bless you guys, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye!